everybody, this is Pizza back with another tutorial with PML, and today we're going to take a look at one of my tracks called Margarita. Let's get right into the track. I will give you guys a preview of this part, and the project file will be linked in the description so that you guys can get it. Alright, let's just give it a quick listen. Cool, so we'll go through all of the elements in this track. So the first element will be this main synth. So it consists of three elements. The main element is the third track I have here. And in the beginning, on the whole group, there is a auto pan effect. I'll quickly turn that off. And this is what this track sounds like without the panning effect. So on the group there is an EQ8 which is being automated, and then there's a ping pong delay on everything, chords to widen the sound, and the auto pan effect is being automated so that it's faster gradually. And this main synth consists of two oscillators, both saw waves, and both detuned, one put an octave higher. And this is layered with another Serum device. This is the bottle blow wavetable, and this also got 5 voices, detuned a bit, and sounds like this. And this is layered with some white noise. And together it makes up this sound. Good. So, all of the MIDI files will be in the project file, so if you want to see the notes, then you can get it from there. These are the notes if you're interested. Let's take a look at the second part, I guess, because that's all with the main synth. So let's look at the bass now. Alright, so this bass instrument is nothing but a silent one device, and this consists of a sine wave and a saw wave with 1 voices, no detuning, some added attack, and a low pass filter and everything. And then this is going through a distortion effect, which is fattening the sound, making it punchier, I guess. So yeah, this is the main synth with the bass. So the bass is playing the root notes of the chords. Next thing we'll look at is some risers that I've added in here. I've got some shakers and some crashes. This is basically a reversed crash sound. I will just quickly show you guys how I did this. So I reversed a simple crash sound. It looked like this at first, and yeah, it should look like this. Then you just take crash sound onto a new audio track, and then you can press Option Command F to go into the view with the fades, and then you can reverse the sound and set the automation of the fades however you like. Yeah, so this is pretty much the same shape. That's what I did here, and I added a rattlesnake shaker as well. It just fills up some of the silent space. Alright, so these are the shakers. I also added the riser at the end. But that is nothing too fancy, just also with the fades automating the volume of the riser. Cool. Next thing, we'll look at the drums. This is the most complex part, I guess. Alright, so we've got a sidechain track here. This is pretty interesting. So I took a kick sound. This is what it sounds like. And I cut the end of it, and so that it's basically just a pop sound. And then I turned the track off. And some of the other instruments I am sidechaining to this track. But this track is just a silent track. It's not playing, alright? So this is the kick that is playing. So just one sample. The kick 1. The kick 10 and the kick drum isn't playing at all. Alright, so this kick has an overdrive effect on it, and I just brought up some gain manually by dragging a utility onto this track. Next thing, I took a snare, so this is also just a one snare sample. And this snare is the same thing as this snare. But this snare is pitched down one note. I don't know exactly why they have two tracks with the snare, but that was what my process looked like. It doesn't make a big difference to me anyway. So these are the hi-hats. They are sidechained to 12th drum rack, and 12th drum rack is the kick. So when the kick is playing, the sidechained hi-hats are going quieter. So this is what they sound like with the kick. You should probably hear that. A hi-hat instrument is an instrument rack with two samples inside. So this sound and this sound. And how did I do this? I will just quickly show you guys. So I'm just explaining how I group two samples to play together in one rack. So I inserted a new MIDI track. Let's type in hi-hat. Let's take whichever hi-hat I want. Let's take these two hi-hats, whatever. Let's take one hi-hat, just set this part. I select this simpler device, I click Command G, and then I dragged another sample here. And I do the same thing, I drag the end and the beginning of the sample, turn up the loop, turn up the whopping. So now we've got two samples playing together. Alright, focusing now on this instrument. So this is a sine wave, mostly. Sidechain to the sidechain track, and then it's got some a high-pass filter on it. It's got a really cool effect which is called glide. If you go into this tab of operator and then you turn on glide, then you can choose the time of your glide. So if, for example, if I turn it to 0 and then I go up, so it's just gliding, it's a gliding effect, alright? And the next thing I did is, first of all, I took this operator synth to this mode, so oscillator B goes into oscillator A, so this is what the track sounds like. but I decided now that it actually sounds better with the 4 oscillators playing separately. It's not so aggressive, not so harsh sounding, so yeah, that's what you can do. You can experiment with all of these elements. So this is basically FM synthesis. One oscillator goes into another oscillator and they create a waveform together from 2 shapes. Alright, so let's take a look at the lead sound now. Let's play this track. So what I did is I took a Serum device and I took a saw-rounded to square oscillator, detuned it a little bit with 3 voices, and I drew such an envelope onto it so that it sounds like this. Just a simple, pretty much, saw square waveform, and then I took such sort of a bell sound. It's something I recorded on my own, I think, and then I layered both of these sounds together. So I just placed the exact same MIDI information from this track to this track. And then what I did with this sort of leady synth is I layered the same information, but in the second part of the drop onto another track. And this is a silent 1 track. This is basically just a saw oscillator and a triangle wave, and then a saw wave, and the whole thing is being low pass filtered. Yeah, it's pretty much the same ADSR shape on all of these. Cutoffs of the filters, of this one filter and this filter. So basically, this is a plaque sound now. You can check out all of these settings if you're interested in the project file, so there's no need to explain exactly the settings. Alright, so now let's take a look at this melody. This is a silent 1 device, and this is a triangle wave with a low pass filter as usual, and then there is some white noise on top of it. So yeah, the white noise has a high pass filter instead, so that it doesn't have any of the muddy low end, and on the whole thing I am high passing with an EQ8 on top. This utility is just bringing up the gain, and also I have a modulation envelope on the cutoff of the A filter oscillator. Yeah, so that is this plaque sound, this melody 2. It's just playing some additional melodies that fit with the chords of the track. Alright, so I took another element here, which I called down, because it goes down. And this is what it sounds like. I'll just play it in context of the track. So it's kind of a gliding effect, but it's gliding down. So what these 4 notes are doing, this is just a chord that is playing. This is just one chord I took of this progression from the main synth, and then I extended the notes. And what I did is I took these 2 oscillators, I guess. So I did 3 things here. I automated the volume with the first envelope, like this, and then I took a second envelope and I automated both of these fine-tunings of these oscillators, and then I took a third envelope and I automated the levels of both of these oscillators so that it goes up. And then on top of this track I took an EQ8 and I automated the frequencies so that it moves from lower frequencies to higher frequencies. And then I took a compressor and I'm automating the volumes at the end with this line. And then I took a overdrive effect, and I'm giving it more bite, and I'm automating the drive so that in this area you get more bite to the sound. And that is it. These are all the elements. If you're interested, go ahead and grab the project file from the description. It was a pleasure to show you guys the project, and stay tuned for next tutorials. And also reminding you guys, I'm giving private lessons, so if you want to make some music with me on a one-on-one session, go ahead, there will be a link in the description where you can sign up, and we can just chill and make some music.